Hello, and welcome to A Bold and Distant Future. Smattering of applause. We have entered a new age of authoritarianism in America. It feels like we've turned a corner, and we're here to sort of discuss and talk about what happened this week that sort of, brings this new flavor to our country. Sort of a horrible flavor.
Not one of the 31 best, not flavor of the month.
Something that was cooked in an old Teflon pan.
Yeah, it's an ancient recipe. It's been cooked many times before. But I don't think it's been cooked to this degree in the United States of America, has it? Not to my knowledge.
Are you kidding?
This is,
I'm
not going to say
what was the last big one, really?
Well, let's go through the list, just the 20th century. We had the Palmer raids, we had the Red Scare, we had McCarthyism, we had the House Un-American Activities Committee. We've been dallying with this stuff for a very long time. We had COINTELPRO. It's just kind of a replay of some of the greatest hits from the last century going on right now, with the caveat that we've never had one party really go after another party like this.
That's true.
Demonizing, yeah, that's kind of new. Nor have we really had this sort of personality cult. I mean, closest I could think of, Woodrow Wilson was not much of a character. Nixon, my God, was so polarizing. And Trump is new. Trump is our answer to Putin.
kind of unhinged in a way. I mean, in order to take on, we have to have a madman in the White House to scare the world or something. I don't know.
Well, there's also this other thing, and that's the whole religious aspect. I mean, there's always been like this religious anti-communist stuff, but most of the anti-communists back in the day was largely centered on fairly secular organizations like, the John Birch Society, which was started by a Unitarian of all things. But now we have people who are freaking out because their pastors won't talk about Charlie Kirk at church. And
what denomination is
you're
Charlie?
way ahead of me here.
No. What denomination is Charlie Kirk springing out of, or what?
No clue.
No clue.
I do want to say, though, that the religious undercurrents are badly skewed from the original intent of what religion was about initially, which is, if you think about it, going back to the teachings of Christ, take care of your brother, don't amass big wealth and help others. There's if you look at those teachings, it's been so badly skewed away from that it's no longer recognizable as truly connected, in my opinion.
You are operating on the false presumption that the teachings of Christ actually have anything to do with Christianity.
Well, it's one would hope.
Yeah, definitely as practiced, particularly in this country. Your cornerstone is Calvin, not Christ. Hence the theocracy.
This whole Charlie Kirk censorship, or I don't know how to even label this thing, but we're not allowed to talk about Charlie Kirk anywhere, or give our opinions about him. It's like speaking ill of a martyr, or it has this religious dimension to it where, I saw these people who were going to Charlie Kirk vigils, and they were just documenting the vigil, which is, I think, a great idea, and I think I have a picture of it. But that kind of stuff, what they're saying at these vigils, it's very scary. It's like they're commingling this religion and politics as they've done before, but it's just now fueled with this retaliation. We're gonna get them back, kind of a vibe,
Yeah.
I was listening to a right-wing Fox News wannabe broadcaster who was saying something exactly to that effect. We're not going to lay down and let them shout us down anymore. We're done with that era. It's like, yeah, that's obvious, isn't it? The bigger piece in that whole thing is Jimmy Kimmel. When you listen to what he actually said, there's nothing incendiary there, not a goddamn thing. And this whole thing about flaming people on the crucifix of Charlie Kirk's death is just another way to drum up and misdirect from what's really going on.
Well, the Patriot Front hit the streets in Huntington Beach, California, and it was sort of a response to Charlie Kirk's assassination. And if you know Huntington Beach, it's a quiet beachside community, in California.
Bunch of surfer dudes, man.
Yeah, and they
Yeah,
were
what's up with their heads?
their little hats and things.
Yeah, they're wearing this white. I mean, I assume that's not their skin. Maybe it is their skin, but they look like automatons.
Well, they're masks, and that's typical Patriot Front kind of, garb. They wear these masks.
They're all dressed in it's a uniform. It's a Catholic uniform.
And they're, what is
That is so weird.
pro patria? I was looking at that, didn't know what that meant, but holding signs that say "Crush the Left."
Say his name? That's
that-
interesting. That's been usurped from forms of religion that I've heard of.
Fight back. Say his name, Charlie Kirk.
It's a cosplay on like George Floyd and all of that.
Right.
Basically, they're copying the left.
Right. Exactly.
Pro Patria.
This is the response that's happening on the street.
Well, it's happening on part of the street, I have to say, but it's not happening. It's not happening on all the streets, is it?
That's true.
Guy's wearing a Dr. Pepper hat. Something we should know about Dr. Pepper.
Probably.
Yeah. I like that shirt. National
importantly, does
Socialism.
RFK Jr. know about Dr. Pepper?
Oh, National Socialism? That guy's actually wearing a shirt that says National Socialism.
Yeah. This is happening in California.
Okay, just to remind us all, who came up with the term National Socialism?
Wasn't that they don't say the N word, they say Yahtzee. That's what I hear people saying online. Wasn't it the Yahtzees?
The Nazis.
Because you're not supposed to say Nazi, apparently. Hey, with this pin, remember we talked about the pin last time, and this is I said it was a cabinet member, but it's not. Look who it was that was wearing the pin. Brendan Carr, chairman of the Federal Communications Commission. He's going to feature a little bit in the story coming up.
One might imagine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
if
just a coincidence.
He wore the Trump pin, which is for sale. You can buy a pack of them. I think I've got a picture of it. Here it is. $5.99. They're for sale.
Great stocking stuffers.
Yeah, they look kind of cheap. I would say poorly sculpted.
Can either of you think of any other president that had this kind of kitschy, memorabilia attached to them?
Not in the U.S.
Yeah. I mean, classic presidents, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, John F. Kennedy, maybe you'd see some stuff. But a current sitting president, I've never seen anything like this.
No.
Yeah. One of Trump's strengths is he markets on multiple levels. And that level, the pin-wearing, flag-waving demographic of his support group, his base, he's got them covered. He's got all these different groups covered. He has multiple, teams marketing him.
I was going to say, Roy, he deflected a question from an Australian newscaster about the business that he's drumming up. And he said, my children run the business. Who are you? He goes, who are you? Where are you from? And he goes, I'm from the Australian Broadcasting Network. And he goes, well, I'm meeting with the president or your leader soon. And I'm going to talk to him about you because, the usual, you're nasty or you're not very professional or whatever. He just suggests He's going to tattle. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I'm going to
It's
tell on
insane.
you.
Yeah, but the idea that he doesn't market, his kids are handling everything is just such BS.
Well, this seems to be the story that is a trigger point. This the killing of Charlie Kirk, which I think we've said before. Our channel is a non-violent channel. We don't support violence or political violence of any kind.
Speak for yourself.
I don't. Okay, thank you. Thanks. Sorry, Scooter. The throwback, the censorship, the don't talk about that vibe that's coming out of the government is not even a vibe. They're acting on it. People are being fired. People are losing their jobs. We had the vice president who, I guess he took over Charlie Kirk's podcast. Hey, we have another podcaster. Yes.
He did a guest.
This guy is scary. He scares me more than Trump. Like I've said, Trump is a con man and a bully. This guy's a true believer.
Well, you saw the South Park. You saw the South Park cartoons.
I don't
Somebody
have
did that
access.
with somebody, aren't they?
Did you hear that somebody set up this massive doxing site where you can report people who are insufficiently sorry about Charlie Kirk? And
Well, Vance called for that.
well, yeah, it just did there, right? You saw that. But and right there, you got it.
Far-right groups dox online critics.
Yeah, Vance came out publicly and said that we had to start that. And I'm thinking, are you out of your mind? Yes, that's the correct answer.
So
Yeah.
where are people going to go? They're attacking the artists, the comedians, anyone who speaks publicly, teachers. They're going after anyone with a voice, I guess.
Trump's going after teachers at Berkeley now.
Right.
Really?
Yeah. He wants it. He wants his finger in the pie of the Berkeley's curriculum.
I'm sorry.
I'm just like, I went to school about 3 miles away from there at CCAC, and Berkeley? Are you kidding me? What's the one reason he'd go after Berkeley?
It's a center of political activism and
You bet it is.
so on. Well, this is interesting. I put this in and you can freeze frame it later and read it. But Laura Loomer, a couple of months ago, was very critical of Charlie Kirk, and she was expressing how he was aligning with another podcaster, Dave Smith, who believes that Trump should be impeached and removed because of what he did at Iran's nuclear facilities and so on. But Laura Loomer, and she took this post down after Kirk's assassination, but she was highly critical of Charlie Kirk, which I guess people were using this as a way to point that, right-wingers are against Charlie Kirk too, which is now kind of a moot point in a way. But I can,
Well, I mean,
maybe not.
right wingers shot him, right?
It looks like it,
Yeah.
but aren't they saying that the young guy who shot Kirk was doing it for more personal reasons? But,
He's apparently a gamer, and the path from gamer to groiper is a fairly short one. But all that stuff that he wrote on his shell casings can be traced back to like memes within a particular gamer community, including one for wannabe shooters.
I know he wrote something about if you're reading this, you're gay or something like that.
Yeah,
It was like
yeah,
this
it comes out of-
homophobic thing, but does that come out of a gamer culture thing too?
Apparently, everything that he wrote can be traced back to this particular game. And there's an NPR article on this that I wish I had saved off, but it'd probably be easy to look up, where they go into his motives. And it all points to gaming culture, specifically around this one game, and I don't remember the name of it, but these are all like memes that are shared amongst gamers. It's inside humor, if you will. So even that Bella Ciao thing, which is an anti-fascist anthem from, the resistance in Italy during World War II, even that plays a role. Apparently, they play that song at some point in the game.
Hmm.
I'll look it up. Maybe we can chat about it next week if this is still newsworthy.
Yeah, you know, I put this up because we had just touched upon it last week, and you were feeling that it was the most important story of the week, or one of the underreported stories, I should say. But I put it up here because it seems to have taken a huge background. It's just way in the background now. There are just other things here in the country that seem more important. But this is still happening. I don't think Russia's done anything since, but I know that they went over the country line a couple of times with drones. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
They said, yeah, go ahead.
Poland shot a bunch down.
It wasn't just Poland shooting them down. I think the Netherlands was involved, and I think there might have been one or two other countries involved as well.
So NATO stepped up, even though Poland actually only went to, they didn't actually ask for direct assistance, which is stage 5. They went to stage 4, which is like an extreme warning or something like that. Kind of reminds me of the things we used to get in our inbox. Orange alert. You hit the nail on the head with what you said just a moment ago, though. You know, it's other more important things, seemingly more important things. How often is the pot stirred? How often are new additives thrown into the pot so that everyone's off balance and focused on something rather than the ball? And I used to say that as a soccer coach. Don't look at the player, look at the ball. The ball will never lie to you. What are we missing?
Yeah.
Did I say the wrong name? Sorry, Roy.
That's okay.
I don't know. I was thinking of my other friend.
Yeah, how is Rob doing these days?
I haven't seen him
miserable.
I haven't seen him for a while. Although I understand he was up here, but I wasn't here at the time.
He's mysterious. He moves in the shadows.
Yeah.
But he'll appear again. Yeah, so Trump's got kind of a weak response, and this is old already too, but he was saying that he would consider sanctions or something, you know.
Let's jump into a real positive stance. He's going to consider something now. That's amazing.
Sort of,
Especially
Yeah.
considering the number of bombing campaigns that Russia's held in the last few weeks.
it seems
Yeah, we
like
definitely want to
super,
keep an eye on this one. This just feels like not exactly Archduke Ferdinand, but you know, there's always these triggers that kind of get lost in all the domestic news, but ultimately turn out to be earth-shattering.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm suggesting. We got stuff going on, and it's the distraction machines at full tilt. You know what I'm saying? They just toss it out so fast you can't even believe it. He
It's
must
hard.
have a fleet of people helping him think this stuff up.
He must have a crew of people. I wonder who's on that team. I mean,
Oh, he definitely has a crew.
you know, constantly murking the water so we can't see anything, you know.
That's the
Murky-
game plan.
Making the waters more murky. Well, I added on one extra story because it's the one that happened just a couple of days ago. The story about Jimmy Kimmel being. Now I said fired, but that maybe was inappropriate. You said he wasn't suspended.
Indefinite suspension.
Indefinite. ABC pulls Jimmy Kimmel off the air for Charlie Kirk comments. Kimmel faced criticism from chairman of the Federal Communications Commission. Now,
But did you listen to the actual broadcast?
Yes. In fact,
It
we
isn't. There's nothing incendiary there. You know.
Well, it's about Trump.
Yeah, it is because he doesn't like any of these guys because they've been using him as the butt of their jokes for how many years now?
And,
There's a lot of
and,
material. Let's face it.
and the whole point that he was making is how seriously Trump is taking this now. He's mourning and grieving by dint of deflecting the question to, you know, hey, we're building a ballroom.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and there was a headline either last night or today saying he's talking about going after anybody on the networks that have this kind of approach to what's going on.
Oh.
So he's politicized the SEC.
Yeah, you bet. And the rest of us get to do what? Start our own broadcast units?
Yeah, I guess they're taking down all the major networks. The legacy media is really, is it over?
It might be, it might end up that we find whatever we want to find on the social media outlets that we use, that we take part in.
I think we should go back to newsprint. Start publishing those old, groovy 1960s underground papers again.
Yeah. I do like the feel of a book over
Mhm.
reading on a device.
Stand in the park on a soapbox. Maybe that's a better way to go. I don't know.
Well, you get busted for that. This is, unless it's Hyde Park.
We saw I was going to say, we saw it in London.
Yeah.
There's a place where apparently it used to happen all the time. So we went down to take a look.
Yeah, Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park.
Yeah.
Well, this is the undercover video that was very interesting, and many people were severely wounded and traumatized by Charlie Kirk's killing. And half the country is taking this very hard, and they have a lot of real pain, and which is why they're trying to, stop anyone from talking about Charlie Kirk in any negative way whatsoever, any negative spin on the story.
I'm gonna I was to correct your fraction.
Go ahead.
I don't think it's half the country. I think maybe it's a third of the country.
I agree. But if you
Yeah, well, who
caught
was
the
it? It
flavor
was
of that.
Herzog.
Who?
Herzog said that Werner Herzog said that America is now about to experience what it's like when 1/3 of the country kills the other third, while the third just sort of looks on.
Right. That could be.
Well, Werner Herzog would probably have a pretty good idea.
I hear the protests out in front of the studio where Jimmy Kimmel did his show is getting more and more active. A lot of people hitting the streets out there.
Well, and not all, but many of the comedians that have airtime have publicly decried this.
It's really interesting because up to this point, comedians were really, really going off on woke, right? You can't have offensive jokes anymore. Now it's coming from the other side. So it'll be interesting to see how this begins to disseminate through that whole community.
Jon Stewart really nailed it last night, talking about what's going on with this. So, and I mentioned at the beginning, David Letterman said it too. There was a female comedian who I don't know who also had some very good things to say. It's worth looking up what comedians are saying.
Yeah, the comedians are ones left speaking truth to power.
That is exactly what Jon Stewart said. He goes, they are the first ones that fall. So keep your eye on it,
Yep. Support our jesters.
And of course, programs like A Bold and Distant Future. I got to bug out because we got a hot date with my ex-department head. I think you met her, Roy. She turned 90 last week.
Oh my gosh, how cool.
So we are going down to take her out for something. We're going to give her options and let her pick.
Have a great time. Thank you for being here, Eddie. But I'll just say thank you for being here, and please come back again. Thanks to anyone listening to A Bold and Distant Future. Take care, everyone.
Adios.
All right. Bye.
Ciao.